Weather forecast first. Sponsored by Matex Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing.
10 o'clock tonight. Thanks for joining us. And another great evening out there. We've had some cloud cover around throughout the course of the day today and some of that out there tonight. But, boy, just very comfortable again. Already down to 55 in Effingham. It is 61 in Champaign and in Springfield. As you get up in the morning and grab your favorite box of cereal, your favorite, my favorite, Frosty Weather Wheats with marshmallows, and the forecast is inside. There it is. How about low 50s to start the day, up to the low 60s by around 10 a.m. It's going to be another beautiful one. Can't wait. We'll talk more about how long this nice weather is going to last when we come back. WCIA3 News starts right now.
Now from WCIA3 News.
We had an inch of hope.
It's not the outcome some wanted in the investigation into Breonna Taylor's death, why some are calling it an injustice.
We don't have a firm timeline.
But they are getting closer, where medical experts say we are in the search for a COVID-19 vaccine. Trapped high in the air with no safe way up or down, how rescuers were able to get these two workers to safety.
You're watching your local news leader. This is WCIA3 News at 10.
We're upset, we're hurt, we're not surprised.
People have many emotions after one of the police officers involved in Breonna Taylor's death was criminally charged, but some say the grand jury's decision is a major miscarriage of justice. Good evening, I'm Jessica Coons. A grand jury indicted former officer Brett Hankison with wanton endangerment after the police raid that led to Taylor's death in Louisville, Kentucky. Those charges are for shooting into neighboring apartments. Protests quickly sparked across the country after the indictment. Two officers were shot in Louisville tonight. People also gathered from Atlanta and Austin to Pittsburgh and New York, and even in central Illinois. WCIA3's Jennifer Jensen is live in the newsroom. And Jennifer, you caught up with a group in Champaign tonight.
Jessica, I did. About a dozen people gathered outside the Champaign Police Department for a moment of silence demonstration. They say they're not shocked by the grand jury's decision, but rather disappointed by what they say is a lack of justice in this case. As people gathered in Champaign for a moment of silence for Breonna Taylor, they also made their opinion in this case known.
I think the officer should have been charged for murder, period.
That's the outcome many across the nation wanted. 26-year-old emergency medical worker Breonna Taylor was shot and killed by police in her Louisville home. More than 6 months later, former officer Brett Hankison was indicted on 3 counts of wanton endangerment for shots fired into a neighbor's apartment. But no officers involved have been charged with anything relating to her death. Many people are calling this injustice.
We're not surprised. We had an inch of hope of thinking that they would do the right things by Breonna Taylor and her family.
Kentucky's Attorney General says officers raided Taylor's home in a search linked to a drug investigation. He says Kenneth Walker, Taylor's boyfriend, fired a shot that hit an officer. Officers John Mattingly and Miles Cosgrove returned fire and 6 bullets hit and killed Taylor. The Attorney General said they were justified in their use of force. They face no criminal charges. Hankison fired 10 shots from outside, with some bullets hitting the neighbor's apartment, where there was a man, a child, and a pregnant woman. None of those bullets struck Taylor. While Hankison was not charged with anything relating to killing Taylor, the 3 counts of wanton endangerment mean that he's charged with manifesting extreme indifference to the value of human life and deliberately engaging in conduct that creates a substantial danger of death or serious physical injury to another person. In addition to the national outrage that was sparked by this, both Governor Pritzker and Lieutenant Governor Juliana Stratton also publicly condemned the grand jury's decision.
The decision to only charge one officer with wanton endangerment is unacceptable. It is hurtful, it is confusing, and it further illustrates how Black people are often dehumanized and disenfranchised by the criminal justice system.
The attorney for Sergeant Mattingly said the grand jury's decision not to indict him or Officer Cosgrove shows that the grand jurors recognized and respected the facts of the case. He said, quote, "The death of Breonna Taylor is a tragedy, but these officers did their duty, performed their roles as law enforcement officers, and above all, did not break the law."
In the newsroom, I'm Jennifer Jensen, WCIA3, your local news leader.
All right, Jennifer, thank you. On Twitter, Taylor's family attorney denounced the decision as well, calling it, quote, outrageous and offensive. He said, quote, if Brett Hankinson's behavior was wanton endangerment to people in neighboring apartments, then it should have been wanton endangerment in Breonna Taylor's apartment, too. In fact, it should have been ruled wanton murder. We have an update for you now. The city of Urbana is getting new staff members. Lamont Peppers, the city's community engagement coordinator, was introduced at the police review board meeting. Members also talked about the city renaming and recruiting a human rights and equity coordinator. This move comes after council members talked about an outside review of use of force 2 weeks ago. A Chicago firm says police did not violate department policy during the arrest of Aaliyah Lewis, which you see there. Review board members noted they are seeing a demand from the public to produce reports. An emergency order in Urbana has been extended until at least November 1st. This order restricts the number of people at private parties in homes across the city. It also calls for the use of face coverings and social distancing in public. The city has also stopped issuing public event permits for gatherings on public property, also through November 1st. The Charleston School Board says it is not changing anything about its remote learning plan. The board had a special meeting tonight after receiving dozens of emails from parents who thought the district did not have a reopening plan. The board says they are staying remote through the first quarter. In-person learning would start on November 4th unless there is an order from the State Board of Education or the governor's office. Remote learning would still be an option at that point. As for what other districts are doing, students in Decatur will begin the second quarter remotely for at least the first month. A decision on whether to go hybrid after that will be made by the end of October. As for Springfield, the earliest that district can go back is at the end of the first quarter, October 26th, and they just approved standards for determining if the case count in Sangamon County is low enough to do that.
Over 50% of our students are going to still stay remote. Please understand that as well, because only those families who chose the hybrid as their choice would be sending their students back. The remote students will still stay remote in District 186.
In Champaign, Superintendent Susan Zola will share survey feedback from families about reopening next Tuesday, along with her recommendations for what to do for the second quarter. Urbana's next school board meeting will be October 6th. Superintendent Jennifer Ivory Tatum says she will give another update on whether or not Urbana will stay remote at that time. A big development in the race for a coronavirus vaccine. Johnson & Johnson advanced to the final stage of a phase 3 clinical trial for its single-shot vaccine, but several hurdles and challenges still remain. Our Capitol Bureau chief spoke with medical experts and the Illinois Manufacturers Association to get an update on where things stand as we head into flu season.
It's certainly a Herculean task. There's no doubt about it. What you've really seen are an all-hands-on-deck, war-type-like effort to get a vaccine and treatment for this global pandemic.
We are producing and supplying a record number of flu vaccine doses this year, about 15% more than last year. The major concern this year is that, we can't afford to have two epidemics going on at once. Having a flu season, even a mild one, let alone a bad one, come in while we're trying to battle coronavirus.
This is not going to be done quickly. There's not an expectation that the vaccine is going to be 100% effective. So the FDA has indicated they want people to be hitting 50% vaccine efficacy targets. But there's a lot of things that can go wrong in pharmaceutical manufacturing. This is very complicated chemistry.
We don't have a firm timeline. We're excited the fact that we have our first phase 1-2 trial underway. But if everything is successful, we anticipate having something by the first half of next year.
Until those vaccines are available, treatments are increasingly important for people who are sick with COVID-19, especially when they're in the hospital. But companies like CSL Behring and CSL Plasma say they're desperate for donors, from people who've had COVID-19 and developed those antibodies to give enough of their plasma that they can continue those efforts to keep saving lives until the vaccine arrives. Reporting in Champaign, Mark Maxwell.
Sanofi Pasteur and Johnson & Johnson both committed to producing 1 billion doses of a vaccine for coronavirus. The state is reporting more than 1,800 new cases. There are now more than 279,000 total. The 7-day positivity rate is still 3.5%. 22 more people have died. Illinois has now lost 8,500 people to COVID-19. A man is facing aggravated battery charges after a woman was found unresponsive at a Springfield mental health center. Gary Schmidt was a patient at McFarland Mental Health Center. He is accused of strangling another patient on Friday. No word on how that woman is doing as of tonight. A former assistant state's attorney in Vermilion County is losing his license. Adam Alekin bought and used cocaine while on the job. The Illinois Supreme Court says it happened while he was working on drug cases. One man is suing Alekin, saying he feels he was wrongly accused when he was arrested in 2017 for drug possession.
And that's all I'm asking for is justice. I'm asking that the truth be brought to light. And, you know, anybody that can help me with that, I would appreciate it, and they can help others. I think all of his cases should go under review, mandatory.
Vermilion County State's Attorney Jacqueline Lacey says they did review Alekin's cases. Her office made sure all of the, quote, proper procedures and laws were followed, but Lewis feels the review should be done by someone outside of their office. Champaign police are searching for a missing man. 51-year-old Tommy Bates was last seen on Saturday. He was wearing a red Chicago Bulls t-shirt at the time and black pants dotted with white spots. His family says he is missing a front tooth. If you have any information about where he might be, you are asked to contact Champaign police. New at 10, 2 workers are safe after they were stranded 200 feet in the air today. Their scaffolding malfunctioned at the State Farm headquarters in Bloomington. It wouldn't move up or down. Firefighters on the roof sent down equipment to the workers so they could remove a window pane, and they were then able to crawl inside the building to safety. The pandemic is not stopping some events this fall. How One Zoo is making sure you can have some spooky fun. Plus One Library says they're owed more than $500,000. What the county treasurer said when they asked when they'd get it. And more changes for fall high school sports. What's coming back this year?